Oh, while I'm grabbing rods, here's another Raw Outdoors Lipless that I purchased. It's like a Chartruese, and it has some really loud rattles in there. In fact, we're gonna throw this tonight right here behind me in this muddy water.
How's that for the intro?
Look at this. On a Chartreuse Lipless. Raw Outdoors, money.
There's one. There's one. Another. Oh, come here, Groove. Oh no. Oh no. There's one. Get up here. Boom. Oh
man. Today on Chill Outdoors, I'm gonna tell you why I bought some new tackle, why I'm making myself try new things, and why it might work for you. Told y'all, muddy water, lipless, boom, boom. Let's get into the video. Boom, baby, boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Chill Outdoors. It's a little bit windy. We're gonna try to make this work, because I realized the other day that I have basically replaced almost all my tackle. So we're gonna go over, it's kind of like an unboxing, but a lot of this I've already used. A lot of this I've already tied on and ran through the water to just see how it runs. But I want you guys to know what kind of stuff we're gonna be throwing. Maybe it'll spark interest in your mind to try something new, because that was my goal for 2020. I gotta try new stuff. I gotta get rid of confidence baits, and I gotta get out there and throw more stuff, just in general. I had like 5 things that I clung to year round, and it really hurt me in muddy water like what we have now, and in summertime hot water. So I wanna be good before the spawn, after the spawn, clear water, muddy water, hot water, cold water. So let's get right into it. So first off, everything over here is stuff that I have purchased. Stuff over here is a lot of the stuff out of the subscription boxes. Now I'm not gonna cover this stuff a bunch because y'all have already seen that. If you haven't seen the subscription boxes, go back. I made 2 different ones. One was MTB versus LTB, and one was MTV versus LTB versus Monster Bass box. That was for March. We should be getting our April boxes soon. Hopefully we get those and get some new lures to check out. So let's get into some of my new goals for this year. Number 1 goal for this year was swim baits. I don't have a lot of them, and I'm talking soft swim baits and I'm talking hard swim baits. So let's start with the soft swim baits. Last year I purchased a few different kinds. Strike King, I think 1 package of High Tech, but I really didn't throw it much because I didn't make myself do it. This year we went with Bridge Swimmers. We got some 6th Sense. We got some Kitex and the Bass Pro Series. But I do really like this green and blue. The green has blue flakes in it, and we were throwing it the other day, and I caught a couple right here behind me. So I do like this color. We're gonna work these this year. And to pair with those, I bought a couple of jig heads. I don't remember which brand this is, but a couple of heavy swim jigs. I believe this is like a 3/8 ounce. It was pretty heavy. This sucker is what I caught some fish on the other day. Of course, we had to get some belated jig type lures. This is actually called the Terminator. It has a lot of movement. This one I believe I paired with one of those Bass Pro ones, and it is nasty. Now, in line of thinking with bladed jigs, I did get 1 bladed jig out of the, I believe the Monster Bass box. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I did get this bladed jig, and this will definitely come in handy soon. Oh, that's actually still not it. I got some yums. Again, I went with some natural colors, some clear and some blue and green. After I get comfortable with these, I'll probably spread out to more colors, but for now I just wanted to go with some of the most basic colors that a lot of people recommend. Hard baits. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I got this killer lipless bait in my Lucky Tackle box, and I caught like 5 fish on it in one night when other lipless cranks were just not cutting it. And then I busted it on my dock. I mean, as you can see, I destroyed it. So It was by a company called Raw Outdoors. I got on Raw Outdoors website, and I started looking at their swim baits, and I might be a little bit obsessed. These things look so good. So right here behind me, off the dock, we feed the turtles, the bluegills, all that stuff, and there'll be about a 6-week time period when we are trying to feed the bluegill and bass are just coming up nailing the bluegill. Not always even like eating them, just like ramming them, just cramming them. So I'm really excited for this red ear bluegill color, and I went with like a carp color. I went ahead and got a bunch of these. I really want to tear up wipers, stripers, white bass, so I got some of these tiny ones. I mean, look at this little guy. Me and my boy Adam are gonna try to hit up some white bass and some other stuff in the creek here in a couple weeks. I think that might slay them. So I really want to get into the hard swim baits, and I found those on Raw Outdoors, and you know, while I was there, I went ahead and got myself a new one of these since I broke the last one. I also wanted to try some other ones. These were like $5 each. So I figured I'd give them a shot. And of course, I mean, you gotta get some square bills. You know, I might've went overboard with the Raw Outdoors, buying like 10 lures from a company I'm not super familiar with. You know what? That's what I'm about this year, is trying new stuff. So let's use those square bills to segue into the crankbaits. I got a ton of these Bass Pro cranks, and some of them look really good. Now, I guess it will just depend on how good do these run, these Bass Pro ones. These are pretty cheap lures. I guess we'll just have to see. I also got a lipless from them, a little red and gold. I'm not gonna lie, I have ran one of these, and I've ran them actually in 2 different colors, and it's 0 to 0 on those. I went ahead and got one of these Storm Hottentots, and I figured if I'm somewhere where there's some deep bass or maybe some walleye, I'm gonna throw that. So that's not even really bass related, but I thought it was kind of cool looking. And then over from the subscription boxes, we got this sick Bait Lab Rocket Shad. It's like a crossover between like a jerkbait and a crankbait. And then we got this Lunker Hunt lipless. Oh, and I can't forget, you know, I just had to go out and get some Googan baits. You just gotta do it. So I went with one of these, I think it's called the Grande Recon. And have I ever caught a fish on a giant Chartreuse crankbait? I don't think so. But, you know, I was like, I better just have one just in case. Also from the Googan squad, I went ahead and got a Junior Scout. This is on a Pro Max Abu Garcia combo. Nothing new about this, I've had this a couple years. I did put Assassin fluoro on this rod, 15 pound. Oh, while I'm grabbing rods, here's another Raw Outdoors lipless that I purchased. It's like a Chartreuse, and it has some really loud rattles in there. In fact, we're gonna throw this tonight right here behind me in this muddy water. And one more Googan bait, I went ahead and got the thick jig. I've never pitched and flipped cover. I'm going to this year, so I went out and got this, and I paired it with a Christie craw that I got in my Monster Bass box. So since we're talking about the Christie craw, let's just go right into some of the soft baits I've bought this year. Here's those Christie craws I was talking about. Here's 2 that I got in my Lucky Tackle box, and we're gonna talk about these later. One's a Senko and one's like a creature bait. In my Monster Bass box, a giant bag of trick worms, Zoom trick worms, and so far I have not tried these, but they look delicious. One of the things I really wanna work on this year, because I had never done it until last week, drop shotting. I know, I've never drop shotted before. So I went out and got Robo Worm, because that's, you know, what everybody on YouTube says to use. Some black and blue Robo Worm. And then I went with the KVD Perfect Plastics. What is this, Ghost Shad? And I figured in that clear water that I'm in a lot, that these should do me well. In fact, I have it rigged up right now. This is the Defy rod that I got in one of my Amazon return pallets. $100 rod, yes please. And I went ahead and put it on a brand new Daiwa, is that how you say it? Daiwa? Rev Rose. Just bought that sucker. I posted a really sweet picture on Instagram if you haven't seen that. And this is on Berkeley 15 pound braid to a Assassin 15 pound fluoro. And here is that little sucker right there, that little KVD plastic. And then the last rod reel setup I'll show you is another Amazon return pallet setup. This is a Gander Wild series. It's made by Shakespeare, and it's a 6'6" medium. I went ahead and rigged this up the exact same as the other one with 15 pound braid to 15 pound fluoro. And this is just a really pretty rod. I guess we'll see how durable it is. This is only about a $60 combo. So nothing too expensive and nothing too fancy. Okay, some of the random things that I am really looking forward to this year is the El Chapo, I believe that's what it's called. It's like a Whopper Plopper, the all black one. I got multiple of these Savage Gear bluegills for the same reason I talked about earlier. Right here behind me, these bass absolutely destroy the bluegill when I'm trying to feed them. So I figured, what if I act like a bluegill? Of course, had to go out and buy some more KVD jerk baits. Had to get a Booyah spinner bait. I still have a really nice Strike King spinner bait in there. And then I got this Dobbins D Blade Beast or D Beast, something like that. I will end up putting something on here. They do have nice little bait keepers on that bad boy. I reckon I'll catch something on this eventually. Might even throw that tonight in this muddy water. Might have to throw that out. Oh, and a popper, frog poppers, live target frog poppers, which probably will do me really good when I'm ready for a popper. Some random stuff like skirts came in some of the subscription boxes, but that's basically it, guys, except for one last thing. What do y'all think about this? This is one of those like $9 Walmart kits. It's actually the Walmart brand, Ozark Trail. All 5 of these lures were like $9, like $8.50. My intention is to take these suckers out one day and do a challenge with them and see if we can catch a bait on every single one. 5 lures, $9. We're definitely gonna have to film this. And if it works out, it works out. If any of these are something that you have used in the past and you have tore them up or you have a tip for me, drop a comment below because I need all the help I can get. And if any of these are absolute trash that you know of, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.